In this house you can find a letter from Mindy, which talks about the tattoos on Amadeo's back, and where she can find the drawing. Amadeo is the body we're going to find, and so you can sort of start to put the pieces together about exactly what Mindy's after, and what the overseers were after when they came to this place and found an outsider shrine. We'll find out more details about that eventually as we see Mindy's apartment. For minor spells like Blink and Dark Vision, you can wait a little bit before you cast a new spell and you will regen all your mana, which saves you quite a bit of mana in the long run, but it's not really that important since mana potions, or Adamire solutions as they're called, are pretty plentiful in the game. This is the Swift Shadow Bone Charm and is one I've been hoping I would find. It is one of the most useful ones for a non-lethal playthrough. The ones we've found so far is not that good, but Swift Shadow definitely is. Movement is slightly faster in stealth mode. On its own, it's a slight increase. It's noticeable, but not hugely so. But what really makes it good is if we bonecraft it to amplify it and put the trait in 4 times. Again, we'll go into more details about that as we find it. Now though, we are hunting after the body that Mindy requested us to find, and so we're going to infiltrate this overseer outpost. We're going to try to blink to the very roof, and the best way to do that seems to be to go as close as we can and then jump upwards, and we're good to go.
I can only hope the outsider hasn't gotten to her first.
There's about 2 or 3 overseers in each floor of this building. Taken one by one, they are generally not a problem.
I must be ever vigilant against the outsider.
The overseers are the religious authority in the Dishonored world. They generally hunt down heretics and act like a bit of an inquisition and fight against the evils of the outsider and all supernatural things. In Dishonored 2, though, they don't really seem to be using their music boxes much, which means they're not particularly challenging for the most part. Let's see if we can put that guy back in the chair with his friend. I guess that'll have to do.
This heretic's body is important, even though I don't fully understand the situation. We'll wait for the Vice Overseer.
When should Byrne arrive?
He's engaged currently. He'll send someone else, maybe Overseer Kendana. Until then, we stay where we are.
Won't the heretic's corpse attract blood flies, brother?
No, I've dusted it already. We should be fine here for now. But mark me, anyone who shows up here has ill will at heart. There are no coincidences in Karnaca.
Again, separating them make them much easier to deal with. Stealth in this game is a lot about patience. You need to separate them and make sure that they don't see each other, be it via distractions or just waiting for them to go about their patrol route. And I'm sure that was a super funny joke.
Unite against the spirits of the unknown that would drag us.
Now this guy is a piece of cake. This gets us the interrogation room key, which is what we need to get inside. Although we could have just smashed the window, but obviously that would have attracted the guy's attention either way.
That's it. The body Mindy sent me after.
Amadeo. Power Slash is not particularly good. But here's some useful stuff here though, coins and crossbow bolts, Adamire solution, and some sleep darts, which we are full on right now. But also a stun mine, which can be pretty handy.
Sometimes I wonder if it wouldn't be better to craft the music boxes at each enclave. Here in the city, for instance. Instead, they're made in a few locations, kept from us, and shipped out. It seems dangerous.
Far worse to have the knowledge and construction materials scattered across the Isles. The metals used to make the devices are unusually rare. The techniques, if applied by anyone but the most faithful, resolute overseers, would border on heresy.
I suppose you're correct. It grieves me to imagine what cultists might accomplish if they took the music boxes and perverted them to their own ends.
Exactly, brother. Much better to protect such a powerful tool. Assemble them in secret and dispatch them across the Empire where they're needed in the fight against the supernatural.
So that's the music boxes I was talking about before. They are generally the strongest weapon the Overseers have, but in Karnaca they don't seem quite as common as they was in Dunmaw.
Am I being presumptuous? Hoping to cross paths with that monstrous assassin?
By now the Overseer noticed that his friend suddenly disappeared, but he goes back to doing what he was doing fairly quickly. Which is good news for me.
Light fire with our virtuous actions so the others will not lose their way.
For even the lowliest labor that is rigorous squeezes the muscles as a sponge, rinsing impurities from the mind and body.
There's 2 down, there's 1 to go on this floor. And that guy is sitting inside the room over there. Now you'd think he'd see you, and he does unless you're crouching, but because he's writing a letter, and if you stay to the side, he doesn't actually see you. Which you'd think would make it very easy to take him out, but for some reason, I think because his chair is such a high back, I can't really get to grab him, so I'm just sort of standing here, doing nothing. So, I'm gonna distract him by making a noise, and then we can get him. As long as they don't actually fully see you, it doesn't count as you having been seen, and they're not actually... You don't lose your ghost achievement or whatever, so... Distractions and stuff are fine, as long as they don't actually see you. That's the 3 of them on this floor taken out, and now we can go around and read all their exciting books, which is mostly information about prayer and sort of how the Overseers work. The real treasures here, of course, is the fire hardening treatment. There's a pistol in there, which we don't really need, same for a grenade. But here's where the real good stuff comes, but we have to figure out how to open the safe. We did this puzzle back in the High KS playthrough as well, and I think there's a puzzle like it in Dishonored 1 as well. See the note, it says hands, gaze, feet. And of course the painting for money. We look at the book. Hands is 3, gaze is 1, and feet is 4. So 314. The password is pi. This randomizes every playthrough. Some silver ingots, some raw whalebone. And of course, the rune itself. So there's 1 floor left, which is empty. But there are the 2 preaching overseers outside that we want to deal with. So we're going to move these bodies out of the way. Looks like they're being all cozy and stuff there. Looks nice. Much better.
Let not the wanderer into your home, friend. Avoid the stranger, for their time to sink roots into the bedrock of the community has passed.
Never to return.
Those who wander are untethered by family and neighbors for reasons tested and true. It is oft because they have turned their backs on tradition and on the 7 strictures themselves. A wanderer is a friend to the outsider.
This can be a bit tricky. If they see you carrying him, it usually doesn't end very well. So right now we're going to have to leave the body there, which can be a little bit risky.
I will never forget.
And then we're going to use this glass
What's going on here?
to distract them from the preaching.
I just need to make sure.
So now they're no longer standing there. In fact, they're going to come running up here eventually. So now we can wait here. Wait for him to show up and then grab him as soon as we can. But there's a slight problem involved in that. If he gets to the balcony before I can grab him, he will see the body and, well, raise all kinds of trouble. So we need to be quick enough. So we need to be quick enough to put this guy's here. And then, hoping that he hasn't actually showed up yet, move this way. If you make more noise, they tend to run. But if it's only something simple as like one glass being thrown, they tend to just sort of slowly walk there, patrolling, checking to see what's going on. There he is. I think that was him noticing the weapons on the ground, although it could have also been him seeing that the people supposed to be here aren't here. Turns out I got him before he got out to the balcony anyway, so I probably could have just played it safe. So now there should be 2 overseers left. One that was guarding the guy talking down there, and one sort of walking around nearby. There's really nothing on this floor. This is the second floor. It's pretty empty. In fact, it's pretty much just a hallway. But down here on the ground floor, you can sort of see where they take visitors, I guess. That's sort of what that's supposed to be. And out here, you see the remaining overseer that didn't follow up on that noise. There's different ways to deal with him. I could try to distract him again by pulling him this way. But dealing with people on the street is not usually a good idea. There are civilians around.
Something is amiss. Some heathen grown bold by these times. I shall not abide the footfall of a blasphemous wanderer.
Something is amiss, alright. So I managed to take the bone charm, the rune, and the whalebone charm. And now I can mostly ignore him, but I prefer making the streets a little bit more clear. So there's no risk of me being detected later on. This place is as good as any to take them out. So let's make some noise. I thought they'd be here by now, but...
From here. Anybody? Don't make me search the whole place. I don't have time for that.
But they're getting a little bit anxious now.
I wonder who that was.
I'm quite lucky that he decided to turn around closing the door that way. It meant he had the back to me and I could take him out before he noticed me. In retrospect, possibly not the best hiding place. But that's one down and that makes this a whole lot easier. Nope, I'm not hiding down there, buddy.
Anybody? Don't make
Again,
me
I can't
search
really
the
grab
whole
him there
place.
because people will see me do
I don't have time
that.
for that.
Civilians are cool with me walking around, but if they see me choking someone out or carrying them, then not so much.
I wonder what I'm dealing with. What?
There we go. And that's finally the last overseer dealt with. A lot of times I could have sped things up a fair bit by using sleep darts and stuff, but the key is using this sort of stuff in the place where the civilians and other soldiers don't see you.
Even if it's dirty.
So now we're taking out the overseers and we're mostly done. It's time to get the body now.
These days, sometimes I think I'll just do it myself. And again, I'm such a
We picked up the rune, the whalebone charm, the money. Place is pretty cleaned out. There's probably some minor stuff that I'll go and pick up later. But it's time to bring Amadeo to Mindy. This can also be a bit tricky, because as I said before, if civilians see you carrying a body around, they're not going to be too happy. So the best way is to navigate via the balconies and that sort of thing. Up here, I'm a ghost.
The carriage
However-
rails are electrified.
However, it's still quite difficult to get down where we want to be. There's plenty of civilians down there. So we're gonna go even higher up. And I gotta say, I'm impressed at how Corvo can blink and jump and climb while carrying a corpse. But I'm not complaining. So, we need to go down here, which is quite a bit of a fall. And we will take damage. We'll survive, but we'll take a bit of damage that we might need to heal with a potion. Of course, poor Amadeo's already dead, so he doesn't really care. So if we throw him down, we can take the step-by-step path ourselves and not have to worry.
Come on. Hurry up.
I'm here, Mindy.
Hey, you got him. Put it down in the hole. Good job. Take this.
You said you had a trick for getting closer to Adamire.
I just sent one of my boys to turn off the power to the carriage rails. When the juice is off, you can walk along the rails and get where you need to go. On the other side, there's a station that will take you to Adamire.
All right then. This is goodbye.
Goodbye, Mindy. Pleasure doing business with you.
It'll be safe to touch the carriage rails now.
Before we go, there's one last thing I wanted to do. And it involves robbing the black market shop. Now that we have the key, let's just walk in here and take him out. This is why you need to make sure that any sort of upgrades and things you've done before you do this. Because once he's been robbed or taken out, obviously he can't upgrade for you. But now you can get a free rune, all the Adamire solution, health potions, and pistol bullets, crossbow bolts, grenades, stun mines, and of course sleep darts. We have a lot of it already, but hey, it's free now. Slightly evil, if you consider robbery evil, which I suppose it is. But it's for a good cause. We haven't upgraded everything yet, but there's more black market shops. This is a sort of secret area-ish that you find only if you go that far up. Seems to be kind of an abandoned apartment. There's plenty of those in Karnaca still. And then this. What happened here? The awful spell the witch gave me to tell me it wasn't too late to cheat death. 4 fingers, 2 fresh from you, and 2 cold and stiff from your departed dear. Place in a copper pot with whale's blood and the herbals I've given you. Boil it all while you speak the word reverse, until you can speak it no more. Well, it looks like it didn't work, my friend. Some sort of ritual gone wrong. Not that it probably did anything in the first place. At least that means we got some money. With Mindy's help, we can now just walk right over the previously electrified rails. And then that's pretty much that solved. We can mostly sneak our way right to the carriage right now and take our way over to Addermire.
Addermire Station. This should take me out to the Institute.
Transfer you to the Dust District if you're looking for action, Sergeant Quinn.
No thanks, ma'am. That's not what I'm saying. Why do we even need Grand Guard personnel here?
Addermire Institute has strategic value to the Duke's inner circle. That's all I was told. You know how it works.
Right. We just carry out your orders. I get it. But it seems weird. Sleepy little place like the Institute.
The benefit of the rails being down is that we can pretty much bypass that entire station. And there's a lot of guards in there, so that's pretty good. Before we quite go there, though, there's 2 more things we need to check out in this mission. Number 1 is the store here. They sell all kinds of stuff, but mostly safes. And thankfully for us, they have a competition. Try to crack the safe. To prove how good it is. And on top of that, we find Dr. Hypatia's apartment key and a note. She's asking our friend Cyril to go in and water her plants.
Every coin I pick up brings me closer to making things right again.
I set the combination to 111. You're kidding me.
Feel free to have a look around.
The safe cracker competition code is 111. Alright. As I said though, it is a random code, so it could have been anything. It just happened to be 111 this time around, which is pretty funny. There's a nice chunk of money in there and a bone charm. That's the last on this level. Winslow safes. When you want to feel safe. And up on the 2nd floor, or 3rd floor possibly. Yeah, 3rd floor. We find Dr. Hypatia's apartment.
This must be the alchemist's apartment. Alexandria Hypatia.
And her painting. Sorry, Doc. I need my bathing salts.
What's going on at Addermire? What's the Duke's interest and how is it connected to Delilah?
Well, we're about to find out. But first, let's listen to this.
So much misery under tyrants like the Duke. More corpses, more blood flies.
After the horrible failures of my first serum, I'm more determined than ever to help the miners. It's not my say how hard the Duke and his cronies drive the workers, but until he sees reason, I'll do what I can to make their lives better and to provide comfort to their families. It's my obsession, this work, and the impact it will have on the least privileged people in Karnaca. Studying the original plague elixirs. I'm close to something.
When I find Hypatia, I'll see what she knows about the Crown Killer.
And that's pretty much it. Now all we need to do is walk the de-electrified carriage rails, avoid the 2 guards in this area by going around the back, and we're off to the station. Of course, as I mentioned before, I like to go and pick up everything I can. There's still plenty of gold. I think there's still a rune I need to get down in the water and all that sort of stuff.
Finish my shift, then I can go home, put my feet up.
So we're not quite ready yet.
Won't you marry me? 12 weeks I have been at sea.
As you can see, my work is now complete, and I have cleaned out the entire station of every guard and every little piece of gold I could find. I haven't managed to find all of it. There's apparently tons on this mission, but I've easily made well over 3,000 coins, so it's worth my time, even though it took a bit. That's it for the Edge of the World mission. We are now on our way to Outpost Institute.